Good morning everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Marlies, Marley Design, and yeah, I'm just starting with a hot cup of tea. I'm starting my morning. It's Monday morning. This is the first day of the week and I'm going to start a new video for you guys. And what did I imagine for today? Okay, I will explain. In our world, it's very busy. For example, I am a busy mom of two small young children, and you know that there are a couple of things that you have to do. You have to guide the children, you have to help with homework and stuff for school, you have after school activities, and not only that, but you know, you have your household, your groceries, your cooking, your cleaning and everything. We have a little dog, Izzy, so you can imagine it is quite busy. But besides being busy, I also want time for myself. And for the ones that are following me for a long time, you also know that I make a lot of journals, paper craft, mini albums. But when we talk about a journal, it is quite it is like a large project. It can be a large project. You need a lot of papers and embellishments and pockets and maybe tags and labels and the whole shabam. So I was thinking what I could offer you to get the most out of, for let's say 1 hour of creating and having fun, but have a whole lot of papers ready for you to use. So my video for today is about building your paper stash quick and easy in 1 hour. And I want to jump right in because 1 hour, I mean, yeah, we have to get going. So I searched for some papers in my leftover pieces and I will make a selection of papers that I would like to use. What did I found? Just some plain one colored paper like this red one, craft colored one. I have some leftover pieces of brayered paint, some leftovers of mica stain, white watercolor paper, black watercolor paper, all kinds of leftovers with distress ink, some coffee and tea dyed paper, a piece of an old newspaper, a leftover piece of a file folder, a leftover piece of collage. When you want to work effectively, because we have just 1 hour, you have to make sure that all your materials are ready to go. And my first step will be adding paste to some papers. And why is paste my first step? That is because of the paste and the drying time. That means when you put the paste onto some pieces of paper first and then put it to the side, the paste can dry and you can focus on something else. I will grab some papers and will quickly cut out some pieces so we can put some paste on top. The cutting is done and I have put my mixed media mat, my craft sheet, on top of my table because on this surface you can use any kind of medium. I have my 6 pieces of paper, so now go to your stencils, pick 6 or maybe 3 and repeat it 2 times and get your pastes out. I will work with the Tim Holtz stencils and the Distress Texture Paste Opaque. I have 6 different kind of stencils and I'm going to use just one paste so I can get going and not change my paste every other paper. The paste is on, and what did I do? I smeared the paste over the stencil, and when I am done with that, I picked up the stencil and put it right away in a bin with water. And well, we have 6 cards, so 6 stencils. Then clean your stencils right away and dry them. Put the paste to the side and let this air dry on the side. And you have your hands free for our next step. I have found 6 other pieces of paper, and while our stencils are still out because we just used them for the paste, yeah, just take the next step and use some scrap papers and your stencils and choose a medium that you want. You can use like paint or a spray or an ink, but choose something that is quick and easy to apply, because we want a batch of papers and not just one single paper that we paid attention to. To work fast, I have chosen the Distress Spray Stain Scorched Timber. It is only spraying on top of those stencils, and what I also like is that it will give a irregular pattern and it might seep under through the stencil. I like that because I am still going for a bit of a grungy look. And while we just used this stencil on the blue paper, you can see there is still a lot of product on top of the stencil. So use it again. I will flip it over and I will push it onto another clean piece of paper. This is the overview of my sprayed papers with the stencil, and each and every one I did one stencil on one paper and sprayed, and then the leftover spray that was on the stencil, I flipped the stencil around and pressed it into the paper to get a second print. I will put this all to the side because it's not dry yet, so we have our hands free and we can go to the next step. I have another batch of leftover papers in different kind of colors and sizes. So it's also good because then you can use up your scraps. And what will I do? I found 6 different kinds of embossing folders. I will put one paper in every folder and I will run it through the machine one at a time. The embossing is done, and I really like this system because you do like one task and put a lot of folders right behind each other through the machine, so you have a lot in a small amount of time. But I also want to do something extra to the embossed areas because, for example, this one, it's not very visible where the embossed areas are. On top of these 2 embossed papers, I am going to use Foundry Wax Gilded. On these 2 embossed papers I am going to use Distress Paint Scorched Timber. And on these 2 papers I will use Embossing Powder Gold. The Foundry Wax is on top, but it will not hold on top of the paper when you do not heat set the product. So take your heat gun and heat set the Foundry Wax. For these two papers I will use distress paint and a brayer, and I will brayer it slightly on top of those raised areas. And here we have our last two embossed papers that I will emboss with some embossing powder. My first product will be the Distress Embossing ink. And I will swipe this on top of the raised areas first. And also the embossed papers are done. Another quick way to grow your paper stash is to use your stamps. I'm going to use these two stamp sets from Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz. This number is CMS264 and is called Label Frames. And this number is CMS337 and it is called Ticket Booth. To create a lot in one go, I have placed a piece of tea dyed paper underneath on my stamp platform. On top is an arrangement of the ticket booth stamps. I will pick up the stamps with my lid. And now I will ink them up with the Archival ink Black Suit. I have inked them up a second time so I can get a better impression. Our first little batch of tickets are done. Now I will stamp the labels. I found two pieces of leftover paper. I have placed them on the platform. Secured them with the magnets. I have also placed my labels. I will pick them up with the lid, ink up the stamps with my Archival ink Black Suit, and then stamp, maybe once, maybe twice. And also our little batch of labels is done. Look at this beautiful view. I mean, 1 hour and we created this, all of this. I think when you have your materials organized and in the right position to work with it, and you can work in a flow, this is what you can get in an hour. There are pieces in here that I think are gorgeous, and some of them have like less the effect that I have wished for. But yeah, that's totally fine. We are working on building a paper stash, and that means this is not like finished products. So for now we have a beautiful batch of papers for ourselves to grab on the go. I had a wonderful time creating these. I also hope you had a wonderful time watching this video, got some inspiration out of it, maybe some new ideas for you to work with. When you are wondering about the materials that I use, I will put everything in the description box below so you can take a look at all the used supplies. And when you have not been around here on my channel before and you do like this video, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell and you will be notified when I upload a new video. This was it for today. Bye!